What can light do? Well, change the mood of your scene. Perception of character. A guide to a viewer's eye to important parts of the scene. It can make look character more younger.
I'm fine.
It makes a scary scene scary. It can elevate people. Nope, it can't. Make the moment mysterious. Imitate movement, fireworks, fire, lighting, or other special effects.
I got you! I got you!
Chapter 1. Direction of light. In cinematography, lighting isn't just about brightness. It's about shaping, mood, depth, and storytelling. And one of the most powerful tools, the direction of light. Before deciding what kind of lighting is needed for a scene, you should ask yourself, what atmosphere and mood do you want to create? What should the audience feel? How can you enhance the impact of a particular scene? Let's start with the front light. Front light is when the primary light source is placed directly in front of the subject. This results in even illumination with minimal shadows, making details clearly visible. It appears flatter compared to other lighting setups and creates almost no shadows. However, this smooths out skin imperfections, making the character look younger, brighter, and look more friendly.
Beautiful and happy. People want to be happy.
Thanks to these qualities, front light is often used in comedic and lighthearted scenes in various sitcoms.
A monkey that stabs a tiger in the back with a stick,
Creating an open and friendly atmosphere. It is also widely used in beauty, fashion photography, vlogging, news broadcasts, and corporate videos. In some cases, it can even become a signature style, like in the works of Terry Richardson. To create front light, we need to place the light source along the axis of the camera and the character, raising it slightly above eye level. Alternatively, we can use two light sources positioned on either side, no more than 10 to 15 degrees off axis. You can see this in this example, where we see two light sources reflected in the eyes. Another variation of front light is butterfly lighting. Butterfly lighting, also called paramount lighting, is a front-facing high-angle lighting technique. It creates a soft, symmetrical shadow under the nose that resembles a butterfly, hence the name. This lighting setup gives the skin a soft, radiant glow with minimal shadows, helping to smooth out wrinkles, blemishes, and other imperfections. It also highlights the cheekbones and jawline, enhancing facial features, making it perfect for beauty and fashion niche. It's also a staple in classic Hollywood glamour shots, capturing the timeless elegance of icons like Marilyn Monroe, which you can use for styling in your projects. To achieve butterfly lighting, place your main light above and in front of the subject and tilt it about 45 degrees. The light should be positioned higher than the subject's face, but not too high, just enough to cast a shadow of the nose that resembles a butterfly shape. You can improve the setup by adding a reflector below or an additional light source to fill in the shadows. This becomes clamshell lighting, a variation of butterfly lighting often used in the beauty and fashion industry. If you slightly adjust the position of the main light, moving it a bit to the right or left of the center, you'll get loop lighting. It's often used on actors with oval-shaped face. This adds a bit more shadow, making your subject appear more three-dimensional without being too dramatic. You can always recognize this setup by the small, curved shadow that appears on the side of the nose. The next direction.
Scene 17, take 4.
Mark.
Action.
Light from above. Top lighting refers to lighting placed directly above the subject, typically at a high angle, shining straight down or slightly angled to create dramatic effect. It is often used to produce strong shadows on the face or body, emphasizing the character's features like a bone structure of subject's face, adding depth and mystery by obscuring the eyes. Also, a character under a single overhead light source can create a sense of isolation or impending danger. That characteristics help to create tension and suspense, making it commonly used in thrillers, horror, and mystery genres. Top lighting is created by positioning a light source directly above the subject, casting shadows downward for a dramatic effect. To set it up, Mount the light using a C-stand, ceiling rig, or boom arm. And some tips. The closer the light is to the subject, the more intense and focused the effect will be. You can emphasize isolation by using negative fill around the light. Bottom lighting, also called uplighting or underlighting, is when the primary light source is placed below the subject, shining upward. This creates an unnatural and often eerie effect by casting shadows in unexpected directions, emphasizing facial features in a dramatic way. It can make a character appear sinister or supernatural, which is especially useful in horror, thriller, fantasy, and sci-fi films, as well as any scene that needs a high-contrast, mysterious look. Bottom lighting is achieved by placing a light source below the subject, shining upwards. You can experiment with the angle and distance from the subject, as well as soften the shadows by adding a diffuser or blocking light that hits the character directly. Side lighting is when the main light source is positioned to the left or right of the subject at approximately a 90-degree angle. This is also called split lighting because that lights up half of a subject's face while leaving the other half in a shadow, essentially splitting the face. This technique creates strong contrast, deep shadows, and adds dimension and texture to the scene. Often used in film noir, thrillers, and crime dramas to add suspense. Works well when combined with low-key lighting to partially obscure a character's face. Because this type of lighting leaves half of a subject's face in shadows, it is also used for making subjects with wider faces appear narrower. This splitting effect is achieved by a light source that is perpendicular to the subject, illuminating directly from one specific side. Rembrandt lighting is a classic lighting technique that creates a triangle of light on the shadowed side of a subject's face. It is named after Rembrandt, the famous Dutch painter, who often used this style in his portraits. It's a popular technique because it creates images that look both dramatic yet natural. You'll recognize it by the small triangle of light just under one eye on the shadowed side of the face. Great for adding mystery, depth, and emotion to a scene. This technique enhances facial features, making it ideal for older faces or textured skin. Often used in dramas, historical films, and intense character moments. How to create that classic Rembrandt lighting? First things first, position your key light. You want it about 45 degrees to the side of your subject, slightly above eye level, angling it downward. This setup starts shaping the face with light and shadow. Now here's the trick. Look for the triangle. Place your reflector or fill light on the other side of the subject at eye level and at a 45-degree angle. This will help to soften the shadows on the other side of the subject's face. Finally, adjust your shadows to set the mood. Want something bold and dramatic? Skip the fill light and let those shadows deepen. A kicker light is a secondary light source placed behind or to the side of a subject to create a bright edge of light that separates them from the background. It adds depth, definition, and a subtle pop to the image, making the subject stand out. Helps avoid a flat-looking image. A backlight is a light source placed behind the subject, typically aimed towards the camera, creating a silhouette or glowing effect around the subject. It's often used to separate the subject from the background and to add depth or atmosphere to a scene. Backlight can be used in a variety of ways. It can be used alone as a rim lighting setup to create a strong edge of light around the subject, stylized image. They can also be used in conjunction with other lighting setups such as the traditional three-point lighting setup. When used in other lighting setups, these lights are often referred to as hair lights or halo lighting. Sometimes backlights are used as the main key light of a shot as well. This leads to a silhouette which has a very different effect than backlighting in a three-point lighting setup. This creates a sense of mystery and suspense, making it perfect for dramas and thrillers, or it can take on a more stylish vibe. It depends on the color, the music you use, and the mood you want to achieve. In cinema, like with most things, rules are often made to be bent or broken. These setups are just guidelines to start with. Feel free to experiment and go off the beaten path.
It was fucking amazing.
Don't just focus on where you place the light. Play with its quality too. Changing the intensity, color temperature, or adding gels can totally transform the look and feel of your shot. Whether you're using edge light to give a character an angelic glow or to create an air of mystery, manipulate the light in a way that best supports your story.